I'm Alex.
I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
We're the Ragamuffins and we love live music, so we want to know what makes the perfect gig. Every episode we're going to invite in a guest who's going to pick their dream 4-band gig from opener to headliner.
We had a chat with our friend Steve, who you may know from the vlogs as Parasite Steve.
We'll go through his 4-band lineup as well as talking about things like the first album he bought, how he kind of got into some heavy music, and some of his favourite bands.
We even talked about what kind of food he likes to have at a gig.
It's all there. Here we are.
Well, we'll just say welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's only bloody me.
Immediately just shouting.
How far away am I meant to be from this? Is this all right?
That's
there.
fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, I'm a podcast virgin.
Anyway, we've got Steve with us. Parasite Steve, that you may know from such vlogs as Bring Me the Horizon in Birmingham.
Slam
and
dunk.
Truckfest, Slam Dunk.
That's
Been all
me.
over the place.
I've attended all of those events with you all. Learned a lot, loved a lot, sweated a lot. So music, what do you want to know? What questions have you got for me?
Okay, just to kind of kick it all off, what was the first gig you ever went to?
Darkness in Oxford.
How was it? And what prompted you to go to that?
And crucially, how old were you?
I was 18. It was a present from my ex's dad.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. If it had been like in the mid-2000s when they were popular, I think I would have accepted it.
I believe in a thing called love is timeless. And it was at Christmas. I got a massive inflatable Santa out and crowd surfed it.
Incredible.
Absolutely rad.
Just fond memories of that? Was it after that you were like, I just want to go to more gigs?
No, I think that I was never really that fussed by gigs until then. It was in Birmingham when I was at uni. I went to watch for Heavy, for like a sort of blues band. And I think that's when I got into gigs a bit more. And then obviously being in Birmingham was like loads.
You mean it wasn't a giant inflatable Santa crowd surfing to the darkness that got you into music and live music?
Not quite, but it was a very interesting spectacle.
So we'll start things off then, Steve. Obviously, you've got to pick 4 bands for your perfect gig, opener to headliner. Who's the first band?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about this because the way I had it in my head was I was imagining it like a dinner. So you have like a 4-course meal, don't you? Or 3 courses normally, but some places have 4. You have like you start a main pudding, then like a coffee, or Italians have a starter, pasta, meat, and then like a tiramisu. It's like I just have to follow suit because if I was to have like 4 like roast dinners in a row, that'd be a lot. And I'd get tired and probably wouldn't enjoy the 3rd roast. So I'm worried, like, is my 3rd band, is that my roast, or are they all my roasts? Since hypothetically I can eat 4 roasts in one go.
Well, I mean, I guess it's your dream gig. It's whoever you want it to be. If you want to have like your favourite band on in the middle, go for it, mate. But
I don't want to get too full. Well, not full, but tired probably.
Most gigs, it's like your headliners at the end of the night, isn't it? They're like your big band that you really want to see.
So you build up to it.
Yeah, I guess you're building up with some support bands to start off.
So my 4th band will be like my sort of pudding, which is a bit lighter.
No. The 4th band will be like the headliner.
All right. I was wanting to clear that one up because I was worried.
I still don't think we've cleared it up, though.
Well, I'm going to view it anyway the way I viewed it in my head. With starters and
you do what you
You're in
want.
complete control, Steve. You can do what you want.
You have all the power here.
Do I choose the time of day it happens as well?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Because I don't want it to be too late because I get quite tired. That's why I like Oxford gigs.
No, that's fine. I mean, we love a 10 o'clock curfew in Oxford, don't we?
One of the best bits of the Sleep Token vlog is at the end. I asked you how you thought the gig went, and you went, "Oh, it's great. I'm going to be in bed by 11:30."
I know, from a Birmingham gig. That is dreamy as well, isn't it? So I'm in Birmingham. I've got a bloody clean air zone in there now. Well, watch out! I got £60 fine going there to go to Institute the other week. I thought a bit of diesel and obviously cheer Birmingham up. Shit hole. I was absolutely fuming.
Right, your first band then.
Anyway, I reckon my first one would be Royal Blood. Kickstart it.
Starting the night.
Yeah,
Very nice.
To be fair, I'd say Royal Blood, I think I watched them as my 2nd year at uni, and I think that was like we've done a few festivals and stuff before then, but that's when I started to dedicate, like, go to actual gigs instead of just like going to a festival and thinking I'd like to see them. Like, that's like, they're absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'd have them as my first band, as you're all putting it, on the
Very
headline
nice.
set.
How many times have you seen them live?
3 times.
Do you have a like favourite time you saw them, like in a particular era of them?
I'd say the first time I saw them, that's when they released How Did We Get So Dark? So I was like, Lights Out, Hook, Line, Sinker, Only Lie When I Love You, and it was such a good album. But all their stuff I've released since then has been really good.
You see, yeah, I think Royal Blood have like get a bad rep. A lot of people label them as being like dad rock and a bit boring, but they've got some absolute bangers, to be fair.
Yeah, they've got some huge.
Yeah, and even their like most recent gigs, because obviously they went a bit sort of more sort of pop punky with the most recent release. But even like seeing them live, they still do a lot of their old stuff. It's still like Out of a Black, like Little Monster, which are all absolute like bangers. It's so good.
Just out of curiosity, so what sort of time of day is this gig going to happen then?
I'd say, or do I get to choose long run for as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so you don't, to avoid having 4 roasts in a row, like each of the band doesn't have to play for like an hour.
Right, I reckon I'd like them all to play. Or I might do a bit longer, like the later on it goes, you know.
That's usually how
You mean like a
Yeah.
usual, you mean like a normal
like
gig?
a festival, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon I'll kick-start it around sort of 3 p.m. I'll do it in the summer, not now, because it's awful outside.
For the listeners, Steve has just turned around and gestured out the window at the rain.
Yeah, it's raining really badly. I couldn't see the curb, so I've scraped my bloody alloy on my car. Yeah, that's band's numero uno.
If you want, you could say, I want a certain album played. You could say, you can play whatever you want, but just make sure you play these songs. Would you curate their playlist?
I reckon I would, yeah. I'd like to mix because I've got so much good stuff from a variety of different albums. So yeah, I'd probably like go through and pick a few, but it'd be mostly from the How Did We Get So Dark album, I'd say.
Nice. Should we move on to band number 2?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll go for Bring Me
Okay.
for that one.
We've got like some strong bands to kick this off.
Oh, I was worried you'd be like, oh, he's such a nerd with his music taste. What a dweeb.
It's gone straight in with some 2 roast dinners back to back.
I know. Hypothetically, I can eat it all tonight. So yeah, definitely Bring Me for the second band.
How did you get into them?
Birdie. I think we saw like the last riff of them at Reading. Was it 2018?
2018. I was sure that we had time to see the excerpts and then just potter on over to the Bring Me the Horizon secret set that they were doing. But we just approached the tent as they played like the last like 2 notes of I Think That's the Spirit.
Yeah. And I think we went back to the tent later. And
Or happy song rather.
Yeah, and you played.
And it was like, oh, all right.
That's done.
Yeah, then I think we went back to the tent and you and Rob played some just because we didn't actually get to see it. And I think it was Sugar, Honey, Ice and Tea, which isn't like one of their best by a long stretch. But I was proper vibe to it. And I got into them on the way back. I think that's when they released Mantra around that time. And then it's been played on like Radio 1. I got more into them since then. But Bring Me, like I think I've started off with a lot of music, to be fair. Start from their lighter stuff and get way more into their heavier stuff. Like if I was to start off listening to like Sempiternal, I don't think I'd have liked it at all. But the fact I've been listening to them for like a year or so and branching more into that. See, Shadow Moses is one of the best songs of all time, in my opinion. It's such a fucking bop.
True.
So yeah, I'd definitely go for them and probably layer it significant on the Sempiternal album.
So the only time actually properly seeing them was when we all went to Birmingham.
We went to Birmingham, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
and I
good
became the
memories?
infamous Parasite Steve.
Like what were the...
If you don't understand that reference,
Go
we'll link the vlog.
If you want to hear more about it and the science around it, you can even find out how to find your own parasite in your own balls as well.
Join in at home.
Oh, this is going to be a tough edit.
You're going to love this. Yeah. So from thinking back to that gig, what were like the standout songs or anything stand out just with their live performance that were like, oh fuck, that was good?
I tell you what, just the movement of the crowd was mental. I think I got a video of it for Shadow Moses, the first drop, and it was like the whole floor in front, which was like huge, which was just one pit that just like fucking erupted towards the front, and it was just crazy. And I think like that, you know, the energy of them is just unbelievable. Like Ollie Sykes is one of the best front men I think you could have for a band, to be honest. And it's just felt like, again, they did like a variety of stuff across their time period as well. It wasn't just their most recent album, which was really good, to be fair. Like, still played like, you know, Parasite Eve and Parasite Steve, you know, like some of their big hits from that as well. But it's nice, like, yeah, still dropped in those Sempiternal songs as well. And then Follow You was quite nice, bit of an acoustic, you know, chill it down a bit. Enjoyed that.
Would you want them to have the same level of production as they did in that gig?
Yeah, I'd say so. I want as big a show as I can. It's my gig, innit?
It is your gig.
Fucking have lightning. Can you have lightning? Can bands do that? Yeah, I want fucking lightning. I want Thor there with his hammer smashing shit. Yeah. Have a whole set of Avengers just mosh pitting.
I actually had a serious question.
How do you follow that up with a serious question?
Obviously, a lot of the gigs that we go to that you've come with us have been like heavy stuff. But what would you describe your music taste as?
Honestly, like music's like a bit of a mood, I'd say. If I'm having a bath, I'll listen to Post Malone and Juice WRLD, which is like completely not the music you discuss on this. Yeah. But if I'm in the gym, like that's when I listen to most music, I guess. That's when I listen to like Avenged, Bring Me, Architects, like Bullet for My Valentine, While She Sleeps. Is when I listen to that, and I think that's like when I most enjoy it because I get such a sort of like energy from those songs and like the passion behind it drives me through obviously the workouts. But then like your sort of standard festively stuff as well. I think like it's not really much I dislike when it comes to genres. Like grime I've never really understood, but I like rap.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But then obviously classic rock I suppose one of the main things got me to music. That's why I learned to play guitar on like sort of Guns N' Roses, AC/DC kind of music.
I've always found that you seem very partial to a good riff.
Bloody love a good riff. I really do love a good riff.
Favourite riff?
Oh,
put it in the spot.
Oh, that's a tricky
or at least the first one that comes to your head, I guess.
I'll tell you what, it'd be Shadow Moses, and it's such a simple because it's literally just open notes pretty much, just slammed really hard.
Yeah.
But it's just like I think everything else around it just makes it so perfect, and it's like proper hits. Easy one to play as well for your listeners.
Play along at home.
Steve will have a guitar lesson on the channel coming soon.
Should we go straight to band number 3, the sub-headliner?
I'd say for this one I haven't seen them, but they're like there's a few bands I haven't yet seen, but I'm really keen to. So I reckon if it's my dream gig, I might as well see one of them.
Yeah,
go for it.
So Avenged Sevenfold.
Very nice.
Obviously, they're another one that I see when I was sort of like young. I guess I branched out from like the Guns N' Roses, AC/DC stuff more towards Bullet for My Valentine and Avenged Sevenfold, and started to play some more of their stuff when I was like sort of teenager, I guess, and then got more back into them like over lockdown. Like we played Nightmare, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Did a cover of that, and I just love to see them. They've got so much content.
What era of them did you kind of get into them?
I'd say I can't remember the year or the album. When did they release Critical Acclaim?
That would be 2007, I want to say, for the self-titled.
I remember I was doing like my paper round, like listening to it.
Really?
Yeah, I was weird. I was like a metalhead a bit till like year 9 when I got into like Eminem and stuff, and then sort of dropped off. And sort of late uni, I'd say I got back into like the heavier stuff. And then obviously, since then, we've started to do all these gigs and stuff, haven't we? And I've got way more into that, since that point.
What would you kind of curate for the set list for them? Because like for me personally, I'd love to see mostly Nightmare era. Where do you lie on, and especially like have you listened to much of more recent releases, or would you kind of push it back to the older stuff?
I'd say again probably a mixture. I know their older stuff was heavier, but some of their newer stuff, like one of the songs I'd love to see live, I Won't See You Tonight. I know it's like a 9-minute song, but that'd be an absolute epic to see live, which is like a more recent song just because of the amount of emotion and story behind it. But again, probably a mixture. There's no particular era I'd say with them I'd like more.
And at what point in the day is this set happening? If Raw Blood has started at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, Raw Blood about 3 o'clock.
And we've had Bring Me as well.
Yeah, I want to have like beer breaks as well. I enjoy a beer at a gig.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
As long as they're not £7.
Oh, God. Or from a can as well. Have you discussed that for about Truck?
I don't know if we did, no.
So, Truck Festival.
Oh, yeah. We did briefly.
We did, but
you are a bunch of bastards for how much you charge for a can. You're literally not even pouring it, you lazy fuckers. Just get a crate and charge £3 a can. £7 too much.
And also, was it the Nothing But Thieves gig as well? There was
Nothing
you
but
and
thieves.
Rob getting pints.
I think you'd bought 2 pints for
it was like
£7 each or something.
Yeah, £7 each. But at least I was poured out.
And I had a Coke which I'd hoped for. I think it was like £4 for it or something, which I'd hoped would be like an on draft one with like the taste of like syrup, a bit of ice in there. But they literally just got out one of those like 125ml, £1.10 bottles and just poured it into a cup right in front of me.
Despicable,
which is just insulting.
I think when I was at Truck and I first saw those, because we'd been drinking at camp from the alcohol that I brought in. And I was, having a good time. And it immediately sobered me up because I was just so outraged at the price that I was just like, I'm not fucking buying that.
The worst thing was when I chucked that beanie bag at Rob and he dropped his bloody pint and I had to buy him another one. That was an expensive joke.
Yeah, and Truckfest vlog will be available to view if you're watching on YouTube in the above link.
As well, the restriction as well on what you could take in initially wasn't appreciated. I think it just has spurred us all on to be really imaginative and creative with how to
there's always
booze in.
it's always good that comes of it.
Yeah.
Before we get to your headliner, Steve, just to break it up a bit, what was the first album you ever bought?
American Idiot.
Oh,
Wow.
yes. What was it about Green Day or that album in particular that drew you to it? For me, I remember distinctly seeing American Idiot music video on TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sold.
Yeah, so I think it was like, I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I was like at that age, I think it was like Busted was the band that every like kid listened to.
Yep.
And then they split up, and then it kind of went two ways. Like people either started to listen to McFly or Green Day.
Yeah.
And
This is a really great point. I didn't really think of it before, but now that Steve's raised that point,
That's
that
very true.
either people stayed at that kind of Busted level and settled for McFly, or they went, nah, McFly's a bit too poppy for me. I need something.
And I wonder
with a
if
bit
that's
more
like
edge.
an age thing as well, because obviously I'm a few years younger than all of you, and I went to McFly after Busted broke up, but I'm guessing you all went to Green Day?
Yeah, that was me, definitely.
Green Day.
Interesting.
Played Holiday on the Year 6 like Leavers Assembly.
Nice.
On my Tanglewood starter guitar set. On my 10-watt amp. You could hear the like strings clanging more than you could actually out of the amplifier.
That's another guitar playthrough we can do.
Yeah.
There you go.
We've
So
got a
add it to
couple.
the list.
Right then. We've had the three so far. We've had Royal Blood, we've had Bring Me, we have had Avenged.
Before we get the headliner, let's just set the scene. What time in the evening is this? or what time of day is this?
Yeah, so I'd like for this to be... I want like food between gigs as well.
What food vendors have you got at the gig? This is one that we haven't asked before.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make this a regular question.
So I think like at festivals, you usually have like a sort of standard thing just to get you, like keep you going throughout the day for like lunch, like a burger or a baguette or whatever. Like a pizza. But I like to go a bit more exotic for my evening meals.
Okay.
Okay.
Bit of Indian food, bit of Vietnamese sometimes, bit of Thai. You know, something else. You do get a lot of like niche little things like sushi, ones you had at 2000 Trees and falafel. We had falafel before. So, amazing stuff. Like, I thought this sounds shit, but it's actually really nice. We'll just like sort of mix up lentils in a sort of wrap, and it's actually really tasty.
So we just have a variety of food vendors around after Avenged are finished.
Because I don't know how I'm feeling yet after all of that. Because I could be like, oh, I really need something substantial, just like light dinner. I don't know yet, but I'd like a nice variety of food vendors to select from. That doesn't really answer your question, does it?
So does that mean this is around dinner time or like a bit after dinner?
Yeah, so I'd say Royal Blood about 3:00 till 4:15. Then
let's write the set times now.
Then half-hour break until Bring Me come on.
What
so
time
Bring
does
Me
that make
comes on
that,
at
James?
4:45.
Yeah.
And then they're on for an hour and 25 minutes.
Oh,
So 6:05.
yeah.
That's really good. I wouldn't have been able to do
No,
that in my head.
6:10. And 25. Did you say an hour and 20?
Oh, an hour and 20 or an hour and 25, did you say?
Hour and 25 of on-call.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
6:10.
10:06, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 6:10 there.
Yeah. Then bit of a break in between, half an hour again.
When do you want the
beers.
food? Do you want the food now
Yeah,
or do you want the food
I think I've done
after?
this too long now because I want to have the food between Avenged and my next one that is yet to be revealed. But I'm sure it will be in about a minute. Yeah, so what have I said?
Do you want a shorter break in between?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't need that bigger one then. I reckon just another half hour, just another beer.
That takes you 20 to 7 for
27.
Avenged starting.
That's a good time for that to start. And then that's on for an hour and a half.
Okay. So we're at 8:10. You're about to go and get some food. How long do you usually need for a bit of food?
Ooh, it depends on how big the queue is. Do I get rid of queues?
You
You've booked
it's your gig. You can
jump
the queue.
You're straight to the
You
front.
can queue jump.
I love the image of like it's a sold out show. Everyone's so excited about this lineup, and you're stood there tapping your foot at the back of this queue. Fucking hell.
I just want my bloody flaffle.
I booked this shit. Come on.
You made this gig and I'm waiting. In that case, if there's no queue, then it only takes like 10 minutes to eat. Just inhale it.
Is that how long you need to digest, ready to go into your last band?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that because you're having such a good time. Your belly will just deal with the rest.
So are you a perfect gig? You don't get indigestion or nausea?
No, not a chance.
So you got a 10-minute break after Avenged. So
have I?
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
I want a bit longer than that.
How long do you want?
I want half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay. So
you need to have a beer as well.
At 20-9, who is taken to stage?
That is such a good time as well for a headline act to start.
That is actually quite good.
Yeah, that's actually worked out quite well.
Yeah. Tell you what,
it's like you thought it all through
in planning
and didn't make up the timings on the fly. Since you
started doing this podcast, I've been thinking, how am I going to do the timings?
Who takes the stage then to close it all off at 8:40?
Close it all off. It's another one I still haven't seen. Hoping next year that I will, but that'll be Metallica. So I'm hearing good things about Download.
There are
maybe
very, very strong rumours.
I mean, because you guys get told first, obviously.
Yeah.
When did you first start listening to Metallica, and how did that all come about?
Again, I suppose it was kind of like the sort of graduation to the next stage of sort of heavier music, going from sort of like Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, but it was then sort of Metallica was next. And obviously the Black Album is probably the first I listened to from them, which I was Enter Sandman and, some, I think, was it Nothing Else Matters? Is that Black Album as well?
Yes.
I believe it is, yeah. Then I started listening to more from there. Then it was like Ride the Lightning. I think that's when Death Magnetic came out, was when I started to listen to him. And that like Cyanide, Unforgiven 3, David Never Comes, some really, really good songs in there as well. And I was thinking it's an absolutely iconic band. We just love to see them. So yeah, that'd be my fourth one.
I think you might agree, but like as also growing up playing guitar, there's not 100%. A band that's more iconic to grow up like wanting to inspire, like that inspires you to play guitar more than Metallica.
Yeah, some of that again, like Birdie mentioned earlier. I love a good riff. I really love a good riff.
He loves a good riff.
And it's like I don't know any bands now who do a 2-minute intro of like something like For Whom the Bell Tolls. Like it's just 2 minutes of just like thunderous guitar pretty much, and you just wouldn't really get that too much now. And there's just so many great opening riffs. I'm Sam, obviously probably one of the most iconic riffs of all time. But then like loads of like Sad But True's, like, again, amazing entrance to a song.
Is there any specifics you want for the set then, or just all the hits?
I'd say again, because I know probably a few people disagree with me with Metallica. I do like their more recent stuff with Death Magnetic, but I think a lot of people prefer their stuff from like they did in the 80s and everything when they're first starting off. But it would be like from a variety of different albums. I have like sort of King Nothing from, is it Saint Anger? Was that the album? I can't remember what I was in. But then Ride the Lightning, then Black Album, Death Magnetic. There's so many good songs across all of them, and they develop really well. I mean, across time, like sort of Change of Air's tune as well. But it's crazy, like with the Unforgiven songs, like how long they've been producing like the same essential theme of song 4, and they're sort of getting older, etc. is going through it, but their same intrinsic style is still there.
Well, they could play all of the Unforgivens back to back if you want.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd want to sit down for that because it's quite a lot.
So we've got seating at this gig as well.
Like a nice recliner, or
can you fit? I don't know how good that'd be if there's for like removing it. If I just want to sit down for a bit,
just sit on the floor, sit on the grass.
If everyone else sits down so I can see,
I
get to tell everyone else what they can do?
You're in charge, Steve.
It's your gig.
So if
you can have people move the chair for you if you want. It don't matter.
This sounds like an awful lot of power. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this.
Or everyone sits cross-legged on the floor like it's assembly.
Hold hands.
Yeah.
Sway. Nah, I wouldn't have anyone sat down, in all honesty, because who does that at a gig? So that's my 4, I'd say.
Probably one of the most important questions I'm going to have now. How long are they playing for, and what time do they finish?
Metallica. So they start 8:40.
Yep.
I'd have them go till 11 o'clock.
Till 11.
Yeah.
Strong set.
Yeah.
Strong set to finish off. Not too late for you.
Well, that's perfect, isn't it? Because where do I have it? Do I get to choose that as well?
Yeah, we get to choose the venue. Yeah.
So, just to sum up the bands, we've got Royal Blood opening, Bring Me the Horizon, Avenged Sevenfold, and Metallica. where is it taking place?
We've got to consider as well the variety of food vendors.
Yeah, that is a strong point. There is a lot of food on display there.
I think like one of the best gigs I've ever seen was Guns N' Roses at Download. And I think like we got there really because Blackstone Cherry, another band I really, really like, they played before them, so we got there early for Blackstone Cherry just so it'd be really close to the front for Guns N' Roses. And the whole time we were just sort of like at the front when they're playing, absolutely amazing, absolutely mesmerised by Slash, who's like a personal icon for me. And then he like came out like down the sort of pier bit, I guess, and started playing Sweet Child. And I was filming him, and I turned around, and it's like 100,000 people, which is like a sea, like a massive people. And it was absolutely amazing. Like, I'm so close to the front, like, you know, where they are. And I've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of people just like behind you, all just like vibing to the same song, having the same energy. And I think that was like a really special moment. So I reckon that has to be Donington Park. Nice. And then you've got obviously the food vendors, because they're pretty used to it.
Yeah, loads of room for food vendors as well, yeah. And they do have falafel at Download.
Well, there you go. So you don't even have to bring in a new contractor. You've probably already got connections.
Interesting, that's a second perfect gig to take place at Donington Park.
Is it? Who was the other one?
Rob.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to his. No. You can cut that bit out.
Yeah. But you can listen to Rob's
anyway, a word from our sponsor.
What will be interesting is if we get a third person that books theirs at Donington Park as well, then we've effectively booked.
We've booked a lineup.
We've booked our own Download. Yeah. Steve, I think that's great.
I really appreciate your appreciation.
Shall we review what we've got?
So, taking place at Donington Park at 3:00, Royal Blood will be taking the stage.
Has anyone else done timings?
No, you're the first.
You've got that.
This is one of the great things about this is how differently people interpret it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, 3:00 till 4:15, we've got the Royal Blood.
So that's like my chicken wings.
Equate this to your 4-course meal. From 4:45 till 6:10, Bring Me the Horizon.
Like a sort of rack of ribs, that I'd say.
Okay. 6:40 till 8:10 is Avenged Sevenfold.
I reckon that's like what's that like? That's like a steak, that is. Steak and chips. Yeah. Bit of rocket salad, lovely. Peppercorn sauce.
And finally, from 8:40 till 11, Metallica.
I reckon that's like a pudding, but it's a big pudding. That'd be like a whole chocolate gatto.
Strong.
Yeah.
I like that.
And obviously, hypothetically, because I can do what I want, I can eat all of that whilst, you know, that's all going on.
Could it be a Black Album Forest Gatto?
Yeah. Brilliant.
Wonderful.
Steve, that's amazing.
That is great.
You're all
Great lineup.
and amazing.
Oh, you.
And lovely.
We're going to have to have you on again at this rate.
What a lovely bunch of lovely metalheads.
Cool, that was a bloody great episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, very enjoyable. A lot of laughter.
If you want to hear more, we have 4 episodes already out of this series. You can go and check them out now, and we've got some very, very exciting ones coming soon, which we would love to tell you about, but we can't.
We also do a monthly podcast where we look at the latest news in the world of alternative music, review some of the latest music, and just have general discussions.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe and leave a like on this video. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit follow and leave a lovely 5-star review, pretty please.
And if you're watching on YouTube, maybe let us know your perfect gig in the comments.